This is DJ Mega Aim 17, and today I am going to be reviewing Jay-Z's new album, Magna Carta Holy Grail. Now, this album came out back July 4th of this year. I know it's a bit late to be reviewing it, but hey, why not? Actually, it's never really too late to review an album, because if that was the case, then you wouldn't be seeing people review classic albums. So, yeah. Anyway, the interesting thing about this is the fact that I wasn't originally planning on listening to this album. I even mentioned this in my Kanye West Yeezus album review. But I ran into it on YouTube, so I thought, why not? So I gave it a listen, and honestly, I thought it was an okay album. I felt it was slightly better than Yeezus, not by a lot. It has a few of the same problems with that album, in my opinion anyway. Now, going into the first two songs, I felt those two songs were the best songs in the entire album. The first song, I believe, is called Magna Carta Holy Grail, which is the name of the album. Usually with these type of songs, they usually set the tone for the album. And it kind of does. Kind of. It's kind of hard to explain because, again, I do feel this was like the best song on the album. But I feel like the rest of the songs after the second one does not match up to this song, or this one for that matter. One problem I did have with this song in particular is Justin Timberlake. And now for I am a fan of Justin Timberlake. I'm looking forward to his new album, which I will be reviewing. I think I'll split that into like 3 parts. You know, for the first part, the second part, and then do like an overall review of it. But my problem with him on this song is the fact that he sounds like Bruno Mars on it. I don't know why it's like that. It makes me even he was the one even singing it, but maybe I'm just putting too much into that, too much thinking into that thing. Anyway, despite that little problem, this song was still pretty good. It was probably the song that Jay-Z rapped on the best, because after the second song, his rapping skills feels like it starts to deteriorate, and his flow, I don't know, he starts adapting this flow as the album goes on, which gets really annoying after a while. The lyrics themselves are really hit and miss. A lot of the times, I would say it's a miss, because it feels like, again, dumbed down lyrics, much like in Yeezus. The beats in this album is very hit and miss. Some of them are good and some of them are just meh. None of them are particularly bad. But, you know, if you're not a fan of certain beats, you're not going to like it. Because the beats in this album is 2 things. You have your old school-ish type of Jay-Z beats, and then you have like your modern mainstream rap beats that's on this album. And that's pretty much how the beats on this album go. So it's like, I guess, production-wise, it's okay. It's a bit inconsistent, honestly. There was another problem I also had, was that there's too many features on this album. I felt like there's just too much features. For example, there's his feature with Ross. I think that was the 4th song on the album. I think that was easily the worst song on the album. It was one of the stupidest songs on the album, and Rick Ross is on it. Why is he on this album? I thought his career was over already, but I guess not. He's still there. He didn't need on this album, and a lot of other people didn't need to be on this album as well. So I take off points for that. So overall, the lyrics are meh. The production-wise, it's hit and miss. There's too many features on it, and this album's pretty inconsistent in terms of quality. And I feel like it does just get worse as time goes on. And I think the main thing that really saves this album is the beats. Some of them. Like, because, again, if you're like a fan of Jay-Z's earlier stuff, you might like a few of the songs on this album. And that's the thing, too. I have to be like a hardcore fan to really like this album. Or a fan of his newer stuff, I guess. Because if you're somebody who's been... If you're somebody who generally likes his older stuff and doesn't really care much for his newer stuff, you're not gonna like this album. If you're not a big fan of as Jay-Z like I am, you're not really gonna care for this album. If you're a fan, however, if you are a fan of all of his stuff, then you will like this album. If you're a fan of his newer stuff, you will like this album. So, overall, if you're a fan of all of his stuff, I guess I would suggest getting it. If you're a fan of his newer stuff, I would suggest getting it. However, if you're not a big fan of his newer stuff, skip it. If you're not a fan, if you're only a fan of his older stuff, skip it. If you're not a fan of dumbed down lyrics, skip it. If you're not a fan of the mainstream rap or feel, skip it. Or just, I don't know, listen to a few songs on it on YouTube or something. But overall, I give this album a 5 out of 10. Again, I think it's slightly than Yeezus, but not by a lot. I think people are overhyping this album though, saying that it's going to change the game or something. It's not. The other problem I have with this album is that it just came out of nowhere. Like, all of a sudden, Jay just releases a commercial saying this album's going to come out in a few days. So I already wasn't really expecting much when I came into this album. And I got exactly what I expected. Not much. So I'm not really angry or disappointed, because I got exactly what I expected. I'm hoping that other people weren't really disappointed, at least that disappointed. I mean, what do you guys really expect? Anywho, that's pretty much my rating. 5 out of 10 for okay. Leave a comment, rate, subscribe, and I will catch you guys later, and have a good day.